Welcome students. This is an initiative by the Directorate of Higher Education, Government of Goa for developing e-learning resources in the subject of economics. I'm Dr. Elizabeth Hendricks and I teach economics at the Government College of Commerce and Economics, Borda. In today's module on macroeconomics, we will study the two-sector circular flow of national income. We will be describing how income circulates between two sectors, throwing light on the assumptions of this model and also looking at its limitations. At the end of this module, you as a student would be able to understand the circulation of income between the sectors of the economy and why this circulation is important. This model begins with a basic assumption. Income is a flow and not a stock. Let me elucidate this statement using a very simple example. A student travels to the college in a bus. He pays the bus fare to the bus conductor. So money now has moved from the pockets of the student into the hands of the conductor. At the end of the day, the conductor hands over the money to the bus owner. So money now has moved from the hands of the conductor into the hands of the bus owner. The bus owner goes and deposits that money in the bank. The bank then lends that money to a businessman. The businessman uses the same money to pay wages to his workers. The workers then go using that money to buy about goods and services. The point I'm trying to make is, money is not a stock. Money is constantly circulating from one individual to another. But money does not just circulate between individuals. Money also circulates between different sectors of the economy, and the two-sector model of circular flow is assuming that this circulation of money happens between two sectors, the household and the firm. The model is also assuming that whether it is the factor market or the product market, whatever factors are supplied and products are made available are actually demanded. The model is further assuming that all incomes equal expenditure. Incomes earned by the household, incomes earned by the firm are all spent. So let us look at the working of this model. There are two sectors, the household and the firm. The household supplies factors of production, land, labor, capital and organization to the firms. The firms in turn make factor payments to the household. Rent, interest, profit, wages flow from the firms to the household. Now, what does the firm do with the factors of production that it has purchased? It converts those factors of production into finished products and it supplies those finished products to the household. The household that had received factor incomes uses those factor incomes to buy the finished goods and services that are supplied by the firm. We can visualize two types of flows in this circular flow. There is the physical or the real flow. The physical flow comprises of the flow of factors of production from the household to the firm, and secondly, the flow of finished goods from the firm to the household. There is also the monetary or the financial flow, which is the flow of factor payments from the firm to the household and the flow of income from the household to the firm when the household purchases the final goods and services that are supplied by the firm. This model is not without its limitations, and the limitations are linked to its assumptions. The model assumes that there are only two sectors and circulation of money is restricted to these two sectors. This is unrealistic. Income circulates among a number of sectors in the economy. The model also assumed equality between quantity supplied and quantity demanded. Supply equals demand, but this is not true. According to this model, whatever factors of production are supplied by the household to the firm are demanded by the firm. So if the household is supplying labor, this model is suggesting that all the labor will be demanded by the firm. But if that's the case, how do we account for unemployment? The model is also assuming that incomes are equal to expenditures. This again is an unrealistic assumption. According to this model, whatever factor receipts are earned by the household are used by them to purchase finished goods and services. But is this really true? Take your own household into consideration. Does your household spend all the income that it receives? The answer is no. A part of the income will be spent on consumption, but a part of it will be saved. Likewise, the firm. According to this model, whatever income the firms receive in terms of sale receipts, all of that income the firm is going to plow back into its business. But this is really not true. An astute businessman is going to save a part of this money, and a part of that income that is generated from the sales of his goods, he is going to plow back into his business. In other words, the lacunae in this model is that it ignores saving. The model therefore has been reconstructed to incorporate the capital market. So the households use the incomes that they derived by way of factor payments. Part of that income they save in the capital market, and part of it they use for consumption of goods and services. Likewise, the firm, the income that it receives from the sale of products, a part of that income is saved in the capital market, and a part of it is spent back into the business. If we were to plot whatever we have studied in this model in the term of equations, we began with the assumption that all incomes are equal to expenditure. We realize that this is not true, that part of the income is saved, so income is equal to consumption plus savings. But the savings then from the capital market are borrowed by the firm and are invested, so savings are equal to investment. In other words, all incomes are spent. Either they are spent on consumption or they are spent to meet investment expenditure. In this model, we have touched upon the two-sector circular flow. We have looked at the assumptions. We have focused on two types of flows, real and financial. We have also looked at the limitations of the model and the reconstructed model, which addresses the lacunae in that model, the leakage in the form of savings. We finally concluded that all incomes are equal to expenditure. For further reference on this subject, kindly refer to the references provided in these slides. Thank you.